Hi everyone, it's Eddie here. Welcome back to my channel. And today I am participating in the Makers Color Combo for July. Hashtag Makers Color Combo July. And some arty fun. And this is hosted over on the PM Artist Studio Facebook group, Makers of Mixed Media Art and Artists. And from the group, Paula Keene and Carrie the Crafter are in charge of this monthly prompt. And this month they chose two colors, aqua and lime green. Those are my two colors. I can use one white, I can use black, and one metallic. So first, let me show you the stencils I'm going to use, and then I will show you the paints I'm going to use. So I think I've thought this out well enough to accomplish my goal. But I'm going to use this stencil with, I want it to be white on the very top. So this is the first thing we're going to print. This stencil is called Carnival Attraction. It's from Miriam Wolf. She is the designer. And this stencil is available at pmartiststudio.com. And you can purchase this stencil and foam stamps and all other sorts of things, arty things on their website. And you can use my discount code, which is EddieFan10. I'll put it in the description, but this is how you spell it. This is Carnival Attraction, and you save 10% off your purchase of $35 or more. So go check them out, and go over to Facebook and check out our group, Makers of Mixed Media Art and Artists. That's where I hang out with a lot of my other arty colleagues, and we have a good time. They do live streams. They're up to 4 times a week now, and they're hysterical. So I'll link that in the description box. So let's get to some gel printing, what we're gonna do. So besides my stencils, oh wait, I have another stencil. Okay, so that's the first one I wanna use. The other one I wanna use is also from PM Artist Studio, and this is called P's Circle Rings of Madness. And P is the P in PM Artist. That's Patricia, the artist, and she designed this. And so we're going to use that as well. And this is an 8x10 stencil, Yupo stencil. These are both Yupo. So they're nice and sturdy, but especially with these delicate ones, you have to be very careful not to pull it too hard or, you know, abuse it, because they will rip and they're hard to put back together. So just keep that in mind. So I'm going to move this out of the way, and I'm going to get us our paints. Let's see here. We have the turquoise I'm going to use. This is a Liquitex basic turquoise blue. I know it's the AQUA challenge, but this is what I have. And I'm going to add a little bit of this. And this is the Pebeo Studio Acrylic High Viscosity Blue Iridescent. It's iridescent blue-green, which to me, those are the components for aqua, the blue, some green. And so I think combining those will be fun. Maybe add a little more white, because this has white in it. It's permanent green, 7, permanent blue, 15, and then permanent white. So, you know, that's an opaque paint. This one's, I believe, opaque as well, but it's really, really beautiful when used correctly. Okay, so we have these two. We have our blues, we have our greens. I'm using the Liquitex Lime Green, which is an awesome color. It's a semi-transparent. Now, this also has a permanent green and permanent white. So they work very well together. The only difference is this has yellow and this has more blue. Okay, now this one is also Pebeo, and it's the iridescent green yellow 359, and it's another awesome color. It has some great metallic going on in there. Excuse me. So I'll combine those two. And then I have just basic white and basic black. Now, I was testing some colors earlier, just mixing stuff up, and I found a couple of color combinations that I like. I don't know if I'll use them today, but I was just kind of playing around and see what you get. So this is the turquoise with some titanium white, and I also put a little bit of retarder in it to thin it out a little bit because it tends to be a little thick. And it's fine, it's nothing, you know, it's just a little bit lighter. And then this one was also the turquoise, but I added Mars Black. Basically a 1-to-1 ratio. I got this really cool blue, like a just dark, like slatey blue, very cool. Over here, I have the turquoise and the lime. And you see the lime is bright next to the, when it's not completely mixed in with the turquoise. But it greens out, very bright green. And then over here, this is the lime and Mars Black. More lime than black. So I wrote almost 1-to-1. But it's like just really like intense, like grungy army green, or even darker, like a swampy green. It's kind of cool. Not as close as Jenkins, but I think it's more earthy, let's say. That's cool. Okay. Ooh, my stone's gone rogue. Let me just move them out of the way. So, how are you today? How is everybody? You doing good? I hope you are. Okay, this is running out, so I have a backup one, but I just want to get as much out of this as I can before I go all crazy and cut into it. I should have a baby wipe out. There we go. Because, you know, I tend to be messy. But also, like, these things, they get gunked up, so you want to use that and baby wipe, get it nice and clean so you don't get any of those hard bits on here. So like I said, I want to start with white and then the carnival stencil on top. And I'm just thinking if I should add anything to the white, maybe change it up a little bit. If I add some of the green maybe, or some of this blue. I'm gonna go with a little bit of the blue. So we have a white. Come on. Yeah, see? It's almost. Bloop. It's almost out. Let's put a little bit of blue. Now, I have my little 5x7 there up to the right, just in case I need to mix something. But this, you know, that I'm not 100% sure about, but this I think will be good. So I'm planning to do a couple of layers, which means we are gonna need to let the layers dry. So you won't see none of that. I won't force you to watch it dry. So there'll be some editing in here, but it's all me. Okay, that's beautiful. Almost like the Arctic blue from Lucas Crow. Okay, so I'm gonna put this down like that. There you go. And then I'm going to use some carnival tissue to pick up the rest because I want to just leave the outline of the stencil. But we'll have a cool print. And let's pick up as much as we can with the tissue. Now, I think I'm going to just do a quick pull on this one and then do another one. So you see we got this cool outline there. That's just the beginning. And then we'll do this one. We'll try to pick up the rest. So see, this is what we're gonna get, but we're gonna have layers behind it. And so that should be fun. I'm gonna go ahead and pick this up, and then we're gonna let it, I'm gonna let it dry. And I had a little knifey thing here. There we go. And then we'll continue once this is dry. The first print is almost dry, so I want to go ahead and mix up the color for the next layer. And for the next layer, I'm going to use the circle stencil. So I will set that here, but what I want to do is mix up my two greens. And the reason for doing that is because if I just put, I mean, you can do it to get a certain effect, but I want a more homogeneous color, let's say. So what I'm gonna do is put down my lime green, the regular paint. Then you put the iridescent on top of that. And what that does is that avoids streaks on the plate, because if you put your iridescent down, you know, put a little bit here, there, and then put your lime green over here and try to mix it on the plate, it tends to leave these little streak marks because it's not fully mixed in with the regular paint. So let's get this mixed up. Just use a palette knife right on the plate. You could do this on a regular palette. It doesn't have to be the plate, but I figured if I'm just gonna roll this off onto my larger one, I'll just, you know, use this guy, and I don't really have to transfer anything except with the brayer. We need more paint. Yeah, do a little bit more. Green. Now if I have extra, I'm good. We can do something else or put it onto something else. Put some of this in here. That needs a good wiping. These are great. I got these on sale over at Blick. And they have several colors, but man, they give you a beautiful, beautiful print. And you see it's a more even color. So let me wipe off my knife as much as possible. And I'll bring over the plate, the large one. Okay. So, and I'm using this tissue, this first one I use, as a pickup tissue. So anything that I need to pick up from the plate, I'll do it on that tissue. And then just use it for other stuff, right? All right, I'm just gonna go this way and see how everything lines up. We'll turn it around and see how it lines up this way. I'm just trying to see, you know, the different ways it lines up, and if it's all good. Because what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put the green paint over this, pull off the stencil, let the paint on the plate dry, and then come back, put the circles down again, but in a different position, and then add a layer of the blue paint. So, all right. I hope you smell what I'm stepping in there. Let me, this should go back on here. That's what we were doing. So I think that's good. Now, press it down. Now we're gonna let that dry. This layer is now dry, so I'm going to come back in with that stencil again. That is P's Circle Rings of Madness. And I want to position it so that it doesn't line up. I want to add another layer. So I don't want it to match what's going on already on the plate. You catch me drift? Let's, so this is how we had it first. All right, we can try this way. Let's see. I think that's good. So the next color, we're going to do the blues. So we have our turquoise blue, Liquitex, and the Pebeo iridescent blue-green. And again, I'm going to mix this on the plate, on the smaller plate, so I don't get streaks. There's a lot of white paint on me, and I don't know what it's from. I wonder. And I'm going to add a little bit of white. I do want a little bit of white, so it just doesn't splash everywhere. There we go. All right, give it a little. Let's lift this gently. Ta-da. How great is that? Now this is what it looks like on the other side. So this is really what you're going to see once we get a pickup color on the back. So I'll see you once this is dry. Am I in shot? The blue layer has now dried. So we've got 3 layers on there. So this won't be a, lay it down and then pull it right away. This one will have to dry on the plate until it's completely done. So let's get the paint on here so we can get this thing drying. Now, I've decided, I know I have 2 metallics going, but they're the same colors as the color challenge color. So I made an executive decision, and I'm going to use a brushed pewter, and this is Tim Holtz Distress Paint It's a fluid acrylic and it dries quickly, so we have to work quickly. So you want to make sure it has the little mixing balls in there. So you want to make sure you give these a good stir. And I'm going to pick it up with a piece of black mixed media paper. So I think that'll look pretty cool. So you can see there with the black underneath, and then just imagine it with the silver where the black is. I think that'll be fun. Well, it's all an experiment, so we shall see. Okay, turn it over. Okay. And the reason I chose this silver is because it's not a super strong silver. And it is going to allow some of the black paper to come through. So it won't be, just like silver. It'll have some nice dark bits. And if you're not familiar, this tool I'm using is called a Baron. And it's a hand-carved one that I purchased from Anthony Cody, who has a shop over on Etsy. And I believe it's Cody Crafts. I will link him in the description box for sure. Yeah, he's great. He does also bowls. He does all kinds of stuff, so definitely check him out when you get a chance. And he can customize these to the size of your hand. Like if you have a larger hand than normal or, much smaller. And so what I'm doing here is I am firmly, but, not crazily, pressing on the paper and going around in a circular motion to make sure that that paint really adheres to the paper. Because remember, we've already got 3 layers on there, so we want to make sure we get all that goodness up. All right, so I'm gonna flip it over. We can get a look-see here. So yeah, see, you still see, there's still some dark, but the silver just makes it not so in your face. But you get a nice contrast there. So this is what it's going to look like when it's done. And it's not done because it has to dry. So I will come back once this is dry and show you what it looks like. So this has dried. Now, I peeked in under one of the corners before I turned on the camera. And it looks like I'm going to have an issue with the paint sticking to the plate on the corners. So let's pull it up and let's see what we have to work with. Okay. Now, I went around before I did this and just pushing on the edges, trying to get that seal broken that sometimes happens on the edges. You kind of do that. And okay, yeah, I'm already seeing. This may not have been the best idea to use this paper, but what I may do, yeah, I'm gonna get some gel medium down on here and then put it back down and let it sit. Okay, so this guy has been sitting here for about 3 hours. So let's take a look and see what happened. Go slow. That part there. Get some gel medium under that, and that will help keep it nice and flat. I like that. I think that turned out really, really well. It's got great, you can see the great detail from the carnival attraction stencil. And then you've got all the different circles, and you know, within the circle you've got circles, and yeah, it's really just has a lot of depth. Next time though, I may do something other than white maybe, but I like it. I think it came out really well for, you know, first time. I've never done, you know, this type of layering like this, so especially not on camera. But I think it turned out well. We saved it. So let's take a look at some of the things that the tissue we got, the prints. So there's this one. We didn't use this dark blue, but I'll explain why it's there in a minute. This one here, it's definitely a cool background you can build on. And then the larger ones, this was fun. This is the one where we wiped the stencil off. We rubbed the stencil off onto the tissue. And it turned out really, really cool. And then this is another one that turned out cool. And I might spray this one and get it all shiny and get some dark color behind it. So yeah, I might do that. Now, to explain why there was blue on that tissue, on that wipe off one, is because I made this print off camera, but I'll tell you how I did it. Really easy. So this 5x7 I was using as a palette was covered in, you know, the different colors I was using, and some of the silver. So I had a little, you know, glitter going on. So I thought I'd take the stencil, the carnival one, carnival attraction, and I laid it down like so. And I went over it with Prussian blue. I lifted it up. Prussian blue is transparent. It's from Amsterdam. Let me see if I have it here. Here we go. It's this one here. Then I let that dry completely. And then I took some gold, and that is the Lucas Krill Gold. And use that to pick up everything on the plate, and this is what I got. Pretty cool, huh? So you've got a regular print and we got a bonus print, all for the PM Artist Studio Makers color combo for July. The colors are aqua and lime green, and I think we did a pretty good job incorporating all that. So I encourage you to take a look at the other videos in that hashtag. The hashtag again is Makers Color Combo July. And that is hosted by the PM Artist Studio Facebook group, Makers of Mixed Media Art and Artists. And I will link all that info down in the description box. Thanks again for coming by my channel. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. I will see you very soon.